Librianas, Libras. Welcome to September. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Tings, and I'm your host, Boogie down Bronx, and I'm here to take care of the Libras. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This reading can resonate for you if you have Libra as a sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, or south node sign. Quick shout out to my Patreon. I'm choosing the top 3 best videos for the month of September to do an extended for. So far, Virgo is one of them. So 2 more signs, depending on which videos do the best, which zodiac reads get the most views, I will do an extended for you. So run those views up on the videos as I post them for September. Yeah, quick shout out to me. My birthday is tomorrow, September 7th. And yeah, I'm excited. So happy birthday to the Virgos. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got to say. So happy to be here. Another year. I will be 25. So let's get into the reading, Libras. We have Mercury retrograde starting in Libra, ending in Virgo. So you may be feeling the effects, especially if you have Mercury in Libra or if you have heavy Libra placements. Let's see what's going on for you. Your insecurities are showing. You are stronger than you know. What's that about? Let's see. Let's clarify. For Libra, clarify your insecurities are showing. Who had that card? Somebody else had that card. There's something better. And then you're stronger than you know. Let's clarify you're stronger than you know. Okay, you need an orgasm. That was trying to come out first and I put it back. Because I didn't know if it was trying to come out or not. One more card for you're stronger than you know. That stick up your ass must be uncomfortable. They're really giving it to you. They're really giving it to you, Libra. I don't really know what this means yet, though. So let's get into my everything deck for some clarity. All right. So I guess they're telling you at this time, you need to loosen up a bit more. All right. Maybe you're being too uptight about something or too much of a stickler, which is very interesting because Libra energy is usually not like that. So what is going on here? Maybe you're being nitpicky because of some insecurities that you're having for some reason. So let's see what is triggering Libra's insecurities during this time, or where are they projecting insecurities? You have timing is right. You have think before you act. Why is Libra's insecurity showing up? You have guilt. Okay. So this is what I heard in my head. A lot of you tend to sabotage things that are good for you because you think that there's somebody better equipped than you. And this doesn't have to be on a conscious level. On a conscious level, you may feel like, oh, I know I'm the person to get the job done. I know I'm the person that can do X, Y, Z. But for others of you, you are getting something that is actually really good for you, or is requiring for you to kind of raise your standards or raise the bar higher or kind of meet someone's expectations up here, even though your standards are up here. But for some reason, you do feel just guilty about that. You feel guilty for fully accepting love or accepting good things. And with there's something better, you may have this mentality where you're always looking for something better, something better, something better. But it's stemming from insecurities of you not wanting to fall short. So you may kind of like talk yourself out of things where you're like, oh, well, maybe there's something better. And you don't fight for it. You're like, oh, well, something better will come along. Someone better will come along. And you just kind of let it fall to the wayside, even if it's something that you really wanted, because the moment your insecurities start to show up, that's when you start to doubt yourself. You start to feel guilty for accepting anything at all. And you're like, well, maybe I should just give up altogether. Instead of accepting it, and something better will come. And so that is really a form of self-sabotage, honestly, inner child trauma, because it's like you're kind of gaslighting yourself into thinking you don't want something or you can't have something because this trauma, this insecurities, or somebody's told you in the past you can't really have that, you can't have what you want. And so there's always temptation to let something go before it leaves you, you know? So let's talk about that. Guilt. Let's talk about guilt. Can we clarify the guilt card for Libra at this time? Let's talk about guilt. Envy. Where is this going, y'all? Where is this going? What else do we have for Libra? What they need to kind of loosen up about here? Change. What does Libra need to kind of loosen up about at this time? Family or family issues. Anything else Libra needs to... All right. Your happiness. Your happiness. So yeah, honestly, I feel like some of you kind of have like a little bit of a grass is greener, hopeless romantic type of energy where you're always looking for something new, something better, something shiny. Libra's a cardinal sign. So Libra's cardinal signs are like initiators. They like the newness of things. They like that new feeling. They also like to have others look at them as something that is new and shiny. And some of you actually have this thing, I heard disposable, where you look at yourself as disposable. And this could be a very subconscious thing where it's like you don't want people to get too familiar with you. Or it's hard for you to let people get familiar with you because you think that they're going to dispose of you or they're not going to like you anymore, or the facade is over and everybody sees straight through you, sees your flaws, sees your insecurities. And so you kind of leave people hanging, or you leave situations hanging before they really can get to know the real you. I'm talking to somebody and it's getting a little bit deep in here, Libras. But many of you have this trauma surrounding your family where you feel like you put on this mask for your family, or your family doesn't really know you, or it's like hard for you to let people in because of something that your family has done or shamed you. And it's just like every time somebody's getting closer, or you feel like somebody knows you too well, you want to run away, or you do run away. And then you get envious because you're like, I want what these other people have. I want this type of relationship. But you can never fully embrace it because you're always running. You're always running and you're like, oh, well, there's something better, or there will be something better that shows up. And so you kind of give up on things prematurely. Yeah. So think before you act. I feel like think before you act, before you just kind of run away from certain things that can actually aid to your happiness, or as your insecurities start to show up, or you feel, oh, people are knowing me too much, I need to back away, I need to distance myself, or like people trying to get closer to me. Looking at where that really comes from, and that makes it hard for you to actually get what you want in your life ever. Because if you can never get close to anything or anybody, or it's like the moment people genuinely are trying to get close to you or show up for you, and you're like, oh, nope, can't do it. It's gonna be hard, Libra. It's gonna be hard. Any advice? Any advice for Libra at this time? And this retrograde can really be showing up. Can really be triggering these things here. Any advice for Libra? Test or lesson? Y'all get that card a lot. Self-love. Okay. Okay. So we have meant to be. We have self-love. We have crying or release. These are the first cards that came out. So this is your advice. A lot of you do need to let some emotions out. You need to cry. You need to. And then you have liar. Some of you have to be more honest with yourself about what you really want, and about a timing situation. Some of you use the excuse that, oh, it's not the right time. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for something that you actually are ready for. And that comes up a lot in y'all's readings. This excuse, oh, I'm not ready. I need more time. I need more time. I need more time. And then months go by, years go by, and you're still using that as an excuse to keep people at arm's length, to keep control. Libra is the opposite sign of Aries. Aries is about control, and not in the way of like Scorpio control, but like self-control, self-discipline. And so Libra is about control in the relationship dynamic, in the partnerships. So as long as you kind of can have control in your relationships, you're fine. But the moment you feel out of control, those insecurities start to pop up, and you do whatever it takes, or you want to do whatever it takes to get back in control. But that's a false sense of security. That's a false sense of control. The only person you can control is you. So using timing as a way to control or manipulate a situation. We all manipulate in our own ways, and it's not always malicious. It's just we use manipulation as a way to protect ourselves, right? So many of you have been using manipulation in certain romantic situations, in certain partnerships, in certain situations where you're using the timeline. You're trying to control the time frame of everything. You're like in 1 minute, you're like, oh yeah, this is the right time. I'm ready to do this. Then the next minute, you're like, oh, I need more time. I can't do this. But it's misleading. It's misleading. And looking at why are you really not ready? Or is it something that you're running from, or you're trying to maintain control of every part of the situation, how fast it goes, how slow it goes, what happens, what doesn't happen, instead of just enjoying the ride and really letting yourself feel it out and feel out when you're ready, instead of being like, oh, nope, I'm not ready. I can't do it anymore. I'm out of here. There is something I feel like is really meant to be in your life. And sometimes by you taking too much time, or you taking too long to at least figure out where you want to go and kind of stick with that. And I mean, I get it. Libra is indecisive, but that indecision could come from a much deeper place of fear and much deeper place of trauma, which is why you don't want to make up your mind, because then you feel like you can't change your mind. Let me tell you something, Libra, you're allowed to change your mind. Everybody in this world is allowed to change their mind. I feel like some of you have this fear that if you decide or you stick to one thing, that you'll never be able to change it. That's not true. Maybe people have tried to manipulate you in the past and say, oh, if you stick to it, you can't change your mind, or you're flaky, or whatever the case may be. But we are allowed to change our mind. It's honestly just about being open and communicating when your mind does change, if it changes. But you don't need to worry about if your mind changes. So what? Feelings are supposed to change. Your mind can change depending on the more you get into a situation. But that's really where the Libra people pleasing comes from, is I'd rather just stay in the gray area. I'd rather not make any decision, because if I change my mind, I'll look like the bad guy. I'll hurt somebody. People will look at me different. And I mean, if they really do look at you different, then maybe they're not meant to be there at all. So it kind of just goes full circle here. But anyway, many of you are in this situation, or you're going into this situation where you're about to run away. You're about to be like, I don't want to be here. Or like, what if I change my mind? Or what if I'm getting too deep into it? Libras get a little bit afraid when things start getting deep. Air signs sometimes do. Unless you got water, especially Scorpio, to help balance that out, that fear of going deep. Many of you are about to get kind of triggered here, and you're going to use that timing thing, that timing excuse. when you start to get uncomfortable, when you're starting to get challenged and you're starting to grow, you're like, oh, not the right time for me. I can't do it. I'm sorry. But don't go anywhere yet. Lean into that a little bit better before you just say, oh no, this is getting too deep. You're getting too close. Don't just stay where you are. Don't run away so quickly yet. Okay. Just relax for a second. All right. Any other advice for Libra at this time? Surrender your ego. Oop. Surrender your ego. Jeez, come on, one card at a time, please. Surrender to your full power. Yeah. Some of you do get triggered by things that are actually really good, that feel good, and you start to feel guilty for actually enjoying things, or actually, as somebody believing in you, it's like you don't believe in yourself. Any other advice for Libra? Two of Swords in reverse. Okay. Yeah, get out of that indecision energy as a way to maintain control. Many of you are using your indecision as a way to stay in control and fully in control, because if you don't decide anything, then you can't get disappointed if it doesn't work out. But you also can never feel fully fulfilled and satisfied, right? So in human design, if you're a generator, do not deny your excitement due to your fears. Generator and manifesting generator. Many of you have multiple things you want to do, or you want to explore something, but it is going to require you to have faith and to trust that you can move forward. And no matter what happens, if you're excited about it and you've taken your time, push forward, push through. If you're a projector and you feel like you got an invitation already and you are feeling good about it, you're recognized, you feel validated, but for some reason you just want to run away because you don't fully believe that it's the real deal, or it's like the good thing for you. Check those insecurities. Check where are you kind of changing yourself, where you need to show up bigger and better, and, with people who are actually celebrating you. This feels very foreign to a lot of you, where it's like, I never had somebody that like really likes me, or really wants to get to know me, or really sees me. And that can be very scary. That's triggering some deep insecurities here for you, Libra, where you're not used to that. But somebody's seeing you. And projectors, you're used to seeing people before they can see you. So somebody really seeing you may feel so weird. And honestly, manifestors, you being bigger, because you're supposed to leave an impact on people. You're supposed to make these really bold decisions. So some of you have been just playing it too safe in this gray area to maintain control. No, your control and your full power is extended when you tell people, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and you do it. And you get your ego out of the way. Your ego, it only cares about trying to keep you safe. It doesn't actually know what is good for you. So many of you Libras have been in this place where you're trying to keep yourself safe. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to mentally think your way into safety. No, safety really comes from you being self-assured and you sticking to your decision for as long as you feel that's necessary. And if it changes, then it changes. But not being afraid that it could change. That you just stay complacent and you don't pick anything because you're like, well, if I change my mind, what does that mean? What do I look like? What are people going to think? It's not about other people. It's about you. And you picking something that you feel is good for you. And if it changes down the road, then it changes. And you will deal with that later. Because maybe, what if it doesn't change? Right? So, there's always a way out. So many of you get nervous if you're like, oh, if I'm in this, I can never get out. Yes, you can. There's always a way out. It may just take a little bit of, maneuvering and trying to figure out how to get out of it, but you can always get out, okay? And then if you are a reflector, some of you are considering other options for places you want to be or people you want to be around. And the same thing goes for you. You may not be used to people fully wanting to get to know you, get closer, to see you for who you are. And that's going to be happening a lot. But getting out of indecision is key, and saying, okay, I'm going to make this conscious decision right now to move forward in this relationship, this job, this whatever. I'm going to be fully available, fully present. I'm not going to push anybody away. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to be here. And whatever happens, if I change my mind, so be it. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person, right? But some of you are so afraid of like your mind changing, so you don't pick anything. No, it's time to pick something. And it's time to be honest about what you want to pick, because many of you are just denying it and lying to yourself because of your insecurities. But if you kind of get the courage to pick something, that is how you actually develop a lot of self-confidence and self-assurance, is by not allowing other people to choose for you and allowing yourself to pick for yourself and decide things for yourself. That's how you develop a stronger sense of self. Your sense of self will remain weak if you always allow other people to decide where things go, how they go, when they go, where they go. You got to start picking for yourself, Libra, and sticking to that as long as you need to. So that's what we got for you, Libra. Thank you so much for watching. If this reading resonated from you, let me know down in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so this channel can thrive. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.